What's up everyone and welcome to another Pokemon X and Pokemon Y trailer breakdown. Today we'll be taking a look at the new trailer release for Pokemon X and Y on May 14th, and we'll be using a couple of screenshots as well that have been released on Pokemon.com to sort of show off some comparisons and differences with what we've got today. So let's get started. And right off the bat, we start off with a brand new Pokemon named Gogoat, and he is known as the riding Pokemon, and as you saw there, he sort of rides you around the city. I'm not sure if this is going to work sort of like the bike did in previous games, because we see him here walking pretty dang slow, and we also have skates in this game, which seem to be replacing the bicycle, and even the character himself runs faster than Gogoat, so perhaps he walks faster than that, or you can actually make him run, but as for now, he seems to be going pretty slow in this trailer. In this scene here, we can also see this little blue car here, which has a little, looks like a Vanillish on top of it, or maybe a new Pokemon or cast form. I'm not really sure, but I don't think there's going to be much purpose to this car. It's going to be probably some normal NPC in this city, as we're going to see a lot of them spread throughout this entire city. We can also see this little car as well as a couple of other of the NPCs of this game in this artwork right here for Lumiose City, which is the name of the main city, or it is probably going to be the main city of this game with the Eiffel Tower in the center of it. Next up in the trailer, we have the girl character walking past the Eiffel Tower as well as a couple of street signs, one of them actually showing off a map of the city and the layout of it sort of being a giant circular sort of structure with paths leading to the middle and to the outside of it. And right after that, we're going to have the boy character walking out of this sort of giant gate with a number 5 on top of it, sort of showing off that maybe this could be a gate leading to Route 5, and that this main city is going to be sort of early in the game. Now right after this, we see the character actually turn and the camera angle completely change. Now I'm not certain if the camera angle actually switches on its own or if you switch it manually, because as we see here, because the camera here actually seems to center on the character's face as he walks along the path, but here we actually see the girl walking past this cafe, and then right after walking past the same cafe in a different camera angle, so perhaps it's dynamic or you can actually switch it manually, but I'm not certain as of yet, so we'll have to wait and find out for sure. And now we're going into some battle scene here. First up, we have Froakie using the move Bubble here, as well as its move set, which is actually in one of the screenshots. We get to see some of the early moves that these Pokemon can learn here. And next up, we're going to be seeing Chespin, as well as this little cliff or ledge in the background, which could be like those ledges in the old generations that you can walk and jump off from them, but you can't walk up them. And we also see Chespin using the move, I believe, Leech Seed, though it's not really in his moveset. And finally, we have Fennekin using what is probably Ember, as that is the only fire move that it can really learn early on, or it could be something like Fire Spin. And moving right along, we have this little scene right here, where the character is going ahead and sitting down on this little bench. Now when he sits down on this bench, the camera angle actually completely changes, showing off the beauty of this town. Perhaps there are more benches scattered throughout the entire region that show off just the landscape of the game in a different camera angle. And in the case of this town right here, we can see that it is the same town that we saw in the announcement trailer for X and Y that was right by Route 3. You can also see this little fountain of Roselia. Maybe she will make an appearance in the game. And you can notice here too the symbol for the gym. Since Generation 5, this has been the symbol for gyms, and it could be the grass or the, I guess, psychic or normal type gym that we saw in the first trailer as well. In this next clip, we see this girl walking past this little archway, and if we pause right here, you can see this little area here looks very similar to the one we see in these screenshots, maybe from a different camera angle or something a little bit different, but it definitely looks like a similar area. Now we move on to the battle scenes of the new Pokemon revealed. First up, we have Fledgling, a normal and flying type early bird Pokemon, the one that you catch in the early routes, and we actually see here it's using the move Flame Charge, possibly signifying that this Pokemon will later on evolve into a fire flying type. And next up we have Pancham, the fighting type panda Pokemon, using a brand new move called Parting Shot, which actually lowers the opponent's attack and special attack, and then switches out the Pokemon sort of like U-turn or Baton Pass. And here we have Helioptile, a normal and electric type Pokemon, which is probably the weirdest looking out of the bunch that we have here, and he actually also has a brand new move which is called Parabolic Charge, and it not only damages the Pokemon, but steals away half of the damage that it does and regains it back to the HP of Helioptile. And finally, we have Gogoat, this time showing off his battling skills, and if you notice here, he's actually not wearing the saddle that he was back in the screenshots when you're riding him, and he is actually going to be showing off that he can use the move Horn Leech. And that about wraps up the gameplay trailer, but there's a couple of screenshots that were released alongside this game trailer on Pokemon.com, and we're going to take a look at some of those because some of them actually have some really cool features. First, let's take a look at these battle scenes here, and if you take a look at the backdrop or the background of the battle, you'll see that it actually changes the scenery, sort of depending on, I guess, where you are, and it just looks like a cool feature that will make the battles a lot more dynamic and awesome. We also see here that catching Pokemon seems to remain the same, with a cool animation when you catch or fail to catch a Pokemon. These next few screenshots show off when you're going to battle a random trainer, and actually that every single trainer now, even little lasses like this, actually seem to have an intro animation like the gym leaders in Elite Four seem to have in the previous games. And like we saw in the trailer, you can now move diagonally and probably just all around free move, and you're not just limited to walking up, down, left, and right. This final screenshot here may not look like much at first, but if we actually zoom in right in here into the background, you may notice two little Pokemon here. At first glance they look a lot like Gogoat, but if you actually take a closer look, their color scheme is a little different, and they actually have smaller horns than Gogoat does. So perhaps this is actually a pre-evolution of Gogoat, at least that's what I think. But maybe you think different, so let me know what you think of all of this, the gameplay trailer, and all of the screenshots that have been revealed for Pokemon X and Y today, and if you enjoyed the video, a like would be appreciated. So thank you all for watching, and see you guys next time.